Hello, and welcome to my reselling channel, Flippin Hippos. I'm Star. Today is Tuesday, so it's Tutorial Tuesday, and today we're going to talk about Poshmark's Smart Sell. So first we're going to talk about what it is and how it works, and then I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how to turn it on and use it. Smart Sell is an automated selling assistant that handles your incoming offers and negotiations for you while respecting the minimum price that you set. It's basically a negotiating tool. That's what it comes down to. Many of us have used other tools and other platforms to send offers on our behalf or share our Poshmark on our behalf, so that's nothing new. I use List Perfectly to share my closet, and I was using it to send my offers. Now I use Smart Sell, and the difference is when someone would like my item before, List Perfectly would send an offer on my behalf, and that would be the end of it. So let's say I had an item up for $20 and I had told List Perfectly I wanted to do 20% off. As soon as someone liked it, they would get the offer for $16. No. Yes. Math is not my forte. And that would be the end of it. And what Poshmark Smart Sell does is it goes back and forth with the buyer rather than just sending a one-time only offer. The important distinction is that your minimum price isn't necessarily the price Smart Sell immediately accepts. That is very important because I think that is one of the misconceptions about Smart Sell. Well, if I put my minimum in, then all my items are going to sell at the minimum. Absolutely not. Your minimum is your minimum. And as I will show you in the screen share, you can set a different minimum for every single item in your store if you so choose. So for items that are newer or that you're more dead set on getting closer to your actual asking price, you put a higher minimum. Something that's been around for a while, maybe you're willing to take 50% and you put that on that item. But the minimum price is not what the Smart Sell is going to automatically accept. If an offer is at or above your minimum, Poshmark's algorithm will either accept it or counter in an attempt to get closer to your asking price. If it's below your minimum, Smart Sell will counter. So we're going to do the screen share in a little bit, but first I really want to use an example to kind of explain how this works. So let's say, for instance, your listing price is $40 and your minimum is $25. If the buyer offers $15, Smart Sell won't accept it. If the buyer offers $25, Smart Sell will counter higher to get closer to the goal of the $40 asking price. But if they offer $32, it will probably accept that offer. If it can't make a deal, if it goes back and forth with the buyer, you will be notified and you can take over. And if the buyer offers something that's within like $1 or $2, like in this example, they offered $23 or $24, Smart Sell won't do anything. It will notify you and give you that opportunity to say to yourself, well, this is only $1 or $2 less. Maybe I'll just take it. You will always still be in control. And I think that's what a lot of sellers aren't understanding about this new tool. You're in control. You set the minimum price. The minimum price is not what's going to immediately be the go-to or what it's going to sell for. I think that this is kind of what scares sellers off. But you do choose the minimum. It is optional. You don't have to use Smart Sell. So you're not being forced into it. You can use it if you want. And you can still send offers yourself. In fact, when I first started using Smart Sell, I still had List Perfectly on, and one or the other would send it, and then the other one wouldn't send. I have since turned List Perfectly's off because I really like Smart Sell and how it works. Poshmark says that your Smart Sell choice is saved as a default for future listings, so that's really important. And set your minimum strategically. Again, if it's an older item, go 40 or 50% below. If it's new, go 10%. You can do a blanket or you can do different for each item. It's going to be up to you. It's going to be your choice. But as always, Take into account your cost of goods, your fees, your desired profit to figure out the actual minimum you're willing to accept. Don't put $20 as your minimum because you'd probably take 20. Put 20 there only if you are actually okay waking up tomorrow and discovering that the item sold for 20. If you have it up for 40 and you are not okay with that, do not put that. Put 35, put 30. Make sure that whatever you're putting is your minimum, you are actually okay with that item selling for. I use Smart Sell and I love it. I feel like I don't have to babysit. And the biggest thing, the faster responses. So you've probably heard me on this channel talk about strike while the iron is hot. It's good to send your offers as quickly as possible, right after a buyer has looked at an item, been interested in an item, and liked the item is when they are most likely to purchase it. If they looked at it, they were interested in it, they put a like on it, and you don't get around to sending them an offer until tonight or tomorrow, they might have already moved on. But if they just finished looking at it and they get an offer right away, they're more likely to buy it. And Smart Sell sends them just like that. I mean, it's really fast. It's like as soon as they like an item, they're getting an offer. I absolutely love it. You're going to get fewer missed sales. If you have a large closet like I do, it's very useful. And again, you always establish the lowest price you're comfortable with. So you're never going to sell something for less than you want. Now, you do lose some control over the negotiation because Smart Sale is going to decide how much to counter for. It does start high. It'll start high and then kind of go back and forth. But if you feel like you need to be in control of that negotiation or you want a different strategy for high dollar or unusual items, and you're not comfortable with letting the algorithm decide where to counter versus accept, then just don't use it on that item. I mean, I would highly recommend to use Smart Sale, period, end of story on everything. But if there are some things that you are just not okay with losing that control and you need to have yourself doing the negotiation and not the algorithm, you can do this on an item case by case basis. You can have Smart Sell on some items and not on others. Poshmark's goal, the entire goal of Smart Sell, is to get as close to your listing price as possible without going below your minimum. When you make more money, Poshmark makes more money. So this is where I'm going to tell you why I use it. Okay, for a lot of my inventory, it's bread and butter. I'm a volume seller. I already know my bottom line. And so I think something like this makes a lot of sense. I have 6,000 items. They're getting liked constantly, all day, all night while I'm asleep. And then there's no lag. As soon as a buyer likes an item, boom, they're getting an offer. It could be when I'm asleep, when I'm in the shower, when I'm listing, when I'm out for my walks. It does not matter. My offers are being sent out consistently and constantly, and I love that. Now, if I did have something really unusual, expensive, or something I'm not willing to let go for 20 or 30% off, I would probably still put Smart Sale on it and just put where I'm comfortable. I wouldn't turn it off altogether. Poshmark says listings using Smart Sale are far more likely to sell within their first 7 days than listings without it. There's not an actual percentage that they've given, but according to Poshmark, they say items with Smart Sale are far more likely to sell within the first 7 days than listings without it. Now, is that actual factual or anecdotal? Do they just want you to use Smart Sale? I don't know. I can tell you that my sales picked up a little bit. So when I first started using List Perfectly as a tool to share my closet for me around the clock, 24/7, and to send offers for me, my sales picked up. When I switched to Smart Sale, my sales picked up. It's almost like every time I find a tool that helps me better utilize the tools that Poshmark has for me to sell more, I sell more. Crazy, isn't it? All right, let's share the screen, guys, because you're going to want to see this if you haven't seen it. Now, I am going to say when they first rolled out the Smart Sale, there used to be up here, you see this banner where it says give your closet a boost. Right now, they're trying to get me to try promoted closet. This banner, also side note, is where your inactive listings are going to show up. So you always want to check that every day. If you have inactive listings, this banner will tell you and you can take care of them. When Smart Sale first came out, there was something up here in the banner about Smart Sale, and you could click on it and you could bulk your entire closet. Now, the drawback for that is you would have to choose the minimum percentage you're willing to go, and it would apply it to your entire closet. I did it. I did like 20%. And now, like with all my new listings that I put up each day, and I delist, relist 20 a day and put up 10 new on Poshmark. I go item by item and make my decision there, 20%, sometimes up to 40 and 50 if it's something that's older. But there was a way to bulk. I don't know if it's still showing up in this banner for other people because it has not shown up for me since I first turned it on using the bulk. So let me show you what it looks like when you're listing. Now you can edit a listing, delisting a new listing, delisting, relisting, and this will all look the same. Whether you're editing or putting up a new listing, this always looks the same back here. Why does the condition not in here? So down here under your price, this is what's going to pop up. And I have this listed for 17. So maybe my lowest, I would want 11. I guess. I mean, this is an older shirt. I would take 30% off. That 12. I'm going to leave it at 11. And then you're done. And boom, it's set. And it will send the offers on my behalf and negotiate for me. And now look, bulk Smart Sale is now available. So it didn't come up in the banner, but it came up right here. So automatically send, counter, and accept offers across multiple listings. We're going to try it just to see. So you would just enable 30% and say 20% other. You can do whatever you want. Now remember, if you do this bulk, it's going to be your entire closet. And you won't be able to go onesies, twosies, and choose which items you're doing it on. I wonder if it's going to do my whole closet or just the ones that it sees that doesn't have it turned on. I'm getting the feeling that it doesn't determine what it has on, which listings have it on and which don't, because it looks like it's choosing quite a bit of them. But again, you probably don't want to do bulk unless you're comfortable with bread and butter items going all for the same discount. And you may have items that you want less or more. So I just recommend if you want to do it and you don't want to do bulk, just do your new listings moving forward, delisting, relisting, or whatever, or do it bulk and go from there. But I absolutely love Smart Sale. And it's not the lowball garage sale monster that everybody thinks it is. It really does start high and negotiate and try to get the highest, best price for you. And then I also like the feature that if they're just $1 under your minimum, it doesn't accept it, but it lets you know. And you can make a choice right there. Because sometimes if the difference between a sale or not having a sale is only $1, I'm going to accept the offer. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the Poshmark Smart Sale, or you want to see more, I mean, I don't really know what else I would show you in a tutorial, but just let me know and we'll all figure this out together. But I highly recommend you guys using it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe because it helps me feed my hungry hippos. And I will see you in the next one.